Hello and welcome back to the great counter-offensive against the criminal plagiarist, felony swatter, and self-proclaimed murderer and terror of men, MorgueOfficial, aka Corey Rieben, a North Hollywood influencer, cult leader, and son of a potentially corrupt retired Orange County cop. Today, we're going to visit another terribly written article from Rieben's Terrors of Men days so that we can show the world the extreme hypocrisy of this nut job. The article is titled, "My Page Could Be Deleted, Social Networks and Freedom of Speech." And it goes. This is very important if you are a fan on any social networking site. If you don't feel like reading through this entire article, come on, it's like 400 fucking words. The main point is this. It is possible that my social networking sites will get deleted. If that happens, I will have no way to keep in touch with you. If you are a fan of any of these sites, then please subscribe on my blog by entering your email address so I can keep you updated on new stunts, possible tour dates, the intern project, etc. if my social networking page should be lost. For those more interested as to why, I would like to take a minute to talk about social networking. Obviously, it is extremely popular. It is not only popular, but it is becoming essential. It is almost impossible not to have one if you have a large contact list. So, what is the problem? Well, let's take a look at this broken down. 1. Almost everyone uses one. 2. They are essential for bands, artists, etc. to share their work. Someone in grade 4 wrote this motherfucker. But here is the problem. These networks are all run by companies. You don't say. Meaning, they make the rules. There is no freedom of speech on these sites. If they don't like what you have to say, they'll pull the plug on you. Now, it may not impact you if you don't have any or that many friends on these networks, but if you do, and the networks start to notice you, that is when the problem arises. Okay, Morgue, it's great to see that you're an advocate for freedom of speech, but I'll bet that comes with some caveats though. The man-child continues. This is leading to mediocre art because in theory, only those artists who are already established and have a huge following will be kept around so that the networks do not look bad. But if another artist is starting to rise and has any message that would be considered offensive, it is very likely possible the network will remove them. Read the terms of service of any of these networks and it is written in black and white. So that is why I created terrorsofmen.com, a place where I can make my own rules. Well, we've sure as fuck seen how you refuse to play by society's rules, you anomic creep. He continues. My friends, this is very important so I can continue my stunt work and the intern project without having to tame it down. And that is gold right there. Because there is nothing tame about a terror. Please enter your email address in the box provided. For the love of fuck, do not do that. And I will see you on the other side. Morgue. Okay, so what about this makes the degenerate beast Corey Rieben such an astronomical hypocrite? Well, MorgueOfficial is one of those far-right negative libertarian lunatics that believes in rights and freedoms, but only for himself and his cronies and fuck everyone else. When David Sinclair's book, Without the Mob, There Is No Circus came out denouncing Rieben as a plagiarist and working class traitor, Morgue went all cancel culture as fuck. That very same cancel culture he constantly decries in his moronic live streams, and had the brilliant Armageddon Conspiracy website shut down just for legitimately criticizing Morgue for stealing and profiting off of the AC's intellectual property. Then just recently, after the Armageddon Conspiracy website was reinstated, Rieben once again had it shut down. Because as we know, Corey Rieben can't abide the authors whose work he stole exercising their right to free speech to denounce the scumbag. Of course, Rieben can do nothing but blow smoke and hot air up anyone's ass because he's got no argument and no actual evidence to back up his demented claims. So the website was once again reinstated and as of now is public for everyone to enjoy in all its glory. But that's not it. This is how much MorgueOfficial, the son of retired Orange County cop Oliver Didio, who in all honesty should publicly address whether he assisted his son in falsifying evidence to the FBI to have me swatted, actually stands for freedom of speech. Once the cancel culture coward had the AC site shut down, the heroic Daily Whistle website was born to continue the legitimate and legal counteroffensive against Rieben in all its whistleblowing glory. The divine mother of that website, Karen Shaw, was then assaulted by Rieben with a cowardly cease and desist order from some rental lawyer's office, and then an abhorrent swatting attempt that painted Karen as an immediate suicide risk, which led to armed cops knocking on her window for a so-called wellness check. This is how much MorgueOfficial tolerates freedom of speech. After that criminal nonsense failed to materialize anything in Rieben's favor, he contacted the Daily Whistle's internet service provider to have it cancelled. Luckily, the transparent coward was seen right through with his vindictive conniving, and the website soldiers on stronger than ever. With all the evidence compiled against the criminals Corey Rieben, Susan Mitchell, Philip Shope, and the abominable gimp Fat Jan Erickson, for everyone to see, lawyers and law enforcement included, of course. And what's hilarious is that MorgueOfficial won't even let his own cultists submit entries to a book project highlighting why they're Hyperian and what they appreciate about the cult and how they're justified in remaining in it despite all the controversy. His own slaves have gag orders on what they can and cannot say. Isn't that hilarious? Of course, we've all seen the more radical nut jobs from this cult launch an offensive against myself and the AC as well as other Illuminists, which is most likely at Morgue and Susan's behest. Well, I want you to pay very close attention to this, Corey Rieben and Susan Mitchell. Since you have radicalized these rejects of society with delusions of grandeur, all publicly documented of course, any illegal activities that these cultists get up to are of course going to come back down on you. You are generating terrorists in your extremist LGBTQ cult. Take Pooks82 for example. Extremist conspiracy theorist nutjob and appalling excuse for a mother, getting more and more radicalized and deranged with each passing day, has taken it upon herself to start harassing the Vancouver Police Department with her insane conspiracies targeting me, doing so in the name of Hyperianism, hence in the name of Corey Rieben and Susan Mitchell, as the leader of a hate group. Total bullshit, of course. Unless hating a degenerate Hyperian cult is a crime, then yeah, I'm guilty of that. Pooks is one of the more dangerous and unhinged Hyperians. Judging by her behavior, it won't be long now until she has me full-on swatted again. And if I'm lucky enough not to get shot the second time, I will take full advantage of sitting down in that interrogation room again, because I will have a mountain of evidence to share regarding the criminal activities of Rieben and his slavish mods. I welcome this scenario. So keep at it, Pukes, you fucking psycho. You utter disgrace to mothers the world over. Keep digging Hyperianism's grave. We want law enforcement to read the Daily Whistle in its entirety. Why the fuck do you think Rieben tries so hard to have it cancelled? I want the VPD to contact me, you retards. Next in his article, Rieben, the self-proclaimed murderer and child eater, whinges on about networks removing messages that are too provocative and how he refuses to tame it down because he's a terror and a woman strangler and a misogynist and a murderer and all that. Well, look at the clown now. Totally woke, totally rocking that guru Jesus vibe, totally rocking that savior syndrome bullshit. Susan fashioned you a nice mask, didn't she, Rieben? Well, the rationalists can see right through it, you fucking hypocrite. Now, under the public's watchful eye, Hyperianism is a total bland, mediocre, lukewarm, temperate, kumbaya safe space for anomic fools who totally rail against society and working class solidarity. Rieben has bent over backward to appease the network companies whose platforms he profits so well off of. What a fucking spineless pussy. He refuses to say anything daring on his dead streams. He's just another useful idiot for the establishment. And he loves it. He's raking it in. The money and the narcissistic supply, that is. Of course, the terror of men hasn't gone anywhere. He's still very active behind the scenes. He just doesn't have the balls to play his game in public. At least Pukes82 has the guts to broach the controversy surrounding Hyperianism publicly on a blog, as unhinged and deranged as it is. Rieben, the fucking coward, can't even do that. He hides behind his cop family and cop friends in his illusory collective frequency domain he constructed with his surrogate mother and wannabe incestual lover Susan Mitchell, the breeder and cheater. And Pukes, if you want the VPD to know how dangerous you think I am, hit up Detective Hudnick. I'd love to hear from him. I have information proving Rieben illegally fabricated evidence to make me seem like an immediate threat to the President of the United States of America, and I'd like him to forward that information to the FBI. All the best.